Everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Kuruma, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking into this week's deals and discounts in Grand Theft Auto Online. There's some discounted cars, a little bit of extra money to be made this week, and finishing off with some absolutely fantastic discounts on property. Let's get straight into it. I'll be honest, this is not the most exciting week ever. Rockstar is once again really pushing for people to play in their latest DLC by giving 1.5 times money on the last dose missions. I mean, the missions are okay for like one playthrough, but I have not done the missions again. Rather do I think anybody else is going to do the missions again, unless they're new to the game and, you know, one of their friends that's already done them wants to help them out again. That's really the only incentive I'd suggest to do. If you have not done the last dose missions and not gotten your hands on the Brigade 6x6 or the Acid Lab, I would suggest to do so, as they're great ways of not only making a little bit of extra cash this week, but as well making money just with your Acid Lab alone. But yeah, still a little disappointing. We have no extra money with any businesses apart from the missions. Now, if you do complete the missions on hard mode, you're going to get a couple t-shirts this week and a micro SMG. Ooh boy, can I have anybody? Didn't ask for 500, Alex. Oh, we did. Alright, well, moving on, we have a 30% discount on one property this week, and it's a pretty good property. It is the Eclipse Garage. It is normally $2.7 million. It's this property right here, the 50-car garage. This week, it's $1.9 million. Now, to be fair, if you're buying a 50-car garage, you probably don't care about the price tag of it, judging that you'll want to store 50 cars in it. But if you're actually a newer player and you just want to buy one garage to fit them all, it's not a bad investment. $1.9 million is pretty cheap for what it does store. Now we come into the discounts, and I have to say, one vehicle this week is an absolutely fantastic deal, and that is the Kuruma, which normally sits at $525,000. It's 30% off, so it's probably around $350,000. That is incredibly cheap. The Kuruma is amazing on a bulletproof protection. It is completely bulletproof on the front. If we were to actually get inside of the car to showcase it, it's just an amazing car. It's not the fastest, only having a top speed around 110 miles per hour. It's not even close to the fastest sports car in the game, but I will say it's very heavy, which allows it to push cars out of the way a lot easier than a normal car would. Not only that, but it's all-wheel drive, and it's got very good handling, which is quite nice, actually. So even though you don't have the top speed going for you, your car always feels like you're going fast because you can handle very, very well. It's a car that's not the best for races, but it can definitely screw people over by smashing into other cars on the road. So the Kuruma is an absolute must-have. If you're a newer player, this is by far the most important purchase to make. There's a lot of YouTubers that'll always say, oh, this is important, or this is important, but for a fact, if you are new, you need to own the Kuruma. Even if you're an experienced player and you haven't decided to purchase one of these yet, buy one, buy two, buy 20. It's honestly just an absolutely fantastic car. It might not have explosion resistance, but being completely bulletproof is something completely unique to really only this car in the game since its release. Alright, not only do we have the Kuruma, but I should break into the two free vehicles we have this week, being the Entity XF, which you need to place top 3 in a street race 3 days in a row to achieve. It's a normally, I think, $800,000 car. There's nothing too crazy about it. It handles decently. It still actually gives some decent competition, even to the #1 sports cars in the game at this point, but it's definitely a bit outdated. We also have the Ocelot Pariah, which is the podium vehicle. It's a $1.7 million car, and I have to say, I still believe that the Ocelot Pariah is by far one of the nicest looking cars in the game. It just looks absolutely fantastic. It's definitely a clean and amazing car. So if you get it this week, make sure to drive that thing. The engine also sounds amazing, although its handling is pretty mediocre overall. It's still a pretty fun car. The rest of the discounts we have are the Entity MT. Unfortunately, it's only 25% off, off, as is the other car we're going to break into, but it's normally 2.3 million. This week you can get it for 1.8 million. That's not a bad deal at all, honestly. The Entity MT is not anything crazy when it comes to the Supers class. In fact, I did a comparison between this car and the Entity XF just about a week or two ago, and surprisingly, the Entity XF actually held up very, very well, not only on performance, but even lap time. So while this car is pretty decent, it's actually not that fast, which is weird because it is based off one of the fastest production cars in real life, being the Koenigsegg Jesko. But either way, it's a cool looking car. Definitely would say this is one of the nicest looking Supers that have been added into the game. Although, if I'm not mistaken, if any of you are playing the new generation consoles, this car might have HSW, which makes it a heck of a lot faster if you're on newer generation consoles. Unfortunately, Rockstar, as I say every video, screws over the PC player base by not giving them access to a massive, massive DLC. I should also talk about the final car that we have on sale, which is the Tulip M100, a vehicle that, if I'm going to be legitimately honest, I did not know existed in the game. Like, I know a lot of cars. I can name almost any car you throw in front of me. This I would have never, ever known. It's just not my style personally, a vehicle. It's normally 1.6 million. It's 25% off. It's 1.2 million this week. It's a muscle car. I still had no clue it was a muscle car. It looks okay. I mean, it just doesn't look like a muscle car. It looks like a box, like a 1970s box. I don't even know what it's based off of, but yeah, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, if you like the look of it, that's good, because Rockstar is getting this car sold. Just for me personally, I don't know, just not my favorite kind of look. It's not the fastest muscle car out there. It's not the best on handling. So it's really just a car that if you think looks cool, I would say, you know what, pick up. But apart from that, I wouldn't really say there's all too much special about the car. It does have some decent customization, though, which is always nice. It's rare that muscle cars get a crazy amount of customization, except for, like, the Vigero ZX. So, overall, it's a cool car. But, yeah, the HSW Vigero kind of craps on this vehicle when it comes to performance. Finally, we have the car that was actually removed from the game for a bit of time and is now back, as pretty predictable Rockstar is. We have the Wheatie Issy Rally. This is honestly a pretty fun car. It's one of the better rally cars in the game, and because it's in the SUVs class, it's got a very, very good lap time and handling, although I can't imagine many of you are going to be doing races in the SUV class to begin with. There's nothing really special about the car unless you're a big fan of minis. I have a friend who's literally buying another mini in real life. He loves them so much, so I mean, they're fun cars, and they're pretty nippy. This vehicle handles very well, but it's not the best. For a rally car, it's really, I don't know. I feel like you can just drive an off-road vehicle and for the most part do a lot better, especially because there's vehicles like the Flash GT, the Obey Omnibus, the Tropos Rally, the GB200 that are, yeah, I don't know, this vehicle's handling. I lied. This thing off-road kind of sucks. Maybe I'm just bad at driving this car, but I don't know, it just kind of went off the road there. It didn't really do all too much for me. It's also possible that I'm not running off-road tires on the car, so that's also very, very possible. But still, I don't know, seems pretty mediocre to me overall. So yeah, this update week is kind of lame, I'll be honest. I mean, we have some decent discounts, like the garage is pretty good, especially if you want to start storing a lot of cars for the future. Definitely would suggest to pick up, but money-wise, I wouldn't really suggest to do any of the methods. I mean, if you've already completed the first dose missions and the last dose missions, I would not suggest to do them again. Sure, you get 1.5 times more money, but you can literally do like one Cayo Perico heist and you'll make more money than you ever would have in a faster amount of time. So yeah, I wouldn't really suggest to waste your time on it. Money doesn't mean much, and even the rewards you get for completing it on hard, like the t-shirts and micro SMG, who cares? I already have a micro SMG. Everybody can buy a micro SMG. I'm not even sure why they give you one. They should have made it so you get some special weapon or special tint for your weapon if you complete it. Oh well, that's how Rockstar works. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and hopefully enjoyed the early content. Bye-bye!